Josh Curry asks a question about share purchases. He's starting to hear more about them, but hasn't got in under the surface. So what are share purchases when we're talking about buy-to-lets, and how does it work? Genuinely, I think this is going to be the most exciting thing for landlords for 2026. So if you are looking actively to build your portfolio up and accelerate that, please take some notes now, because this is, I swear that this is so game changing for us as landlords. I've not seen anything like this for years, and I don't say that lightly. And I'll explain why. First of all, I'm going to explain what share purchases are and then why I think it's game changing. So usually if we buy in a buy-to-let property, we might be buying one, maybe two at a time, and we buy in the physical property. And that might be in personal name, or we're going to put it into our limited company, our SPV, if you've heard that acronym before, special purpose vehicle. It's just a fancy name for a limited company. However, where we've got landlords that are looking to retire and they own their properties already within a limited company. So that's the key point. The seller already owns these properties in his or her own limited company. So there might be 5, there might be 10, whatever. Instead of buying the properties out of that limited company and putting them into yours, which comes with all the usual transaction costs and the second home stamp duties, you buy the shares in that company off the seller. Now, here's the thing. The stamp duty is now no longer the usual stamp duty rates plus the extra second home stamp duty rate added on top, which is eye-watering, as we all know. It's 0.5%. The second thing is you're accelerating your property journey. So if you have got a property plan to get from 1 property to 20 properties over the next X years, you're going to go at a certain pace. But if there's an opportunity to buy 20 properties at one go, and I know you're ahead of me, you're going to say, where the hell's the deposit coming from? Hold that thought. Then you're going to, if you can acquire the shares, you've got 20 properties at one go. Now, what I have seen over years when working with landlords that are buying multiple properties off a seller is that there's very, very few buyers. So the one thing I see regular is significant discounts from the seller, because there's not many people want to buy 10, 20, 30, 40 properties at one time. Now, if you've got 25% deposit to put in as cash, now bearing in mind this could be a multi-million-pound portfolio, then happy days. Crack on. It's not complex. These sorts of deals have been around for a while. This is the game changer. And this is what I want you to write down if this interests you. What we are advising our clients as one permutation is that if the landlord has got 25%, the current owner's got the 25% discount that he's going to let you have. Let's assume that that's the case. And the owner currently is prepared to retain 5% minority shareholding in that company, but he's going to sell 95% to you on day one. So that has got to be part of the negotiation. Then we can get you 95% of the value of those discounted shares. So if they're worth £2 million and you've got a 25% discount, so you're getting them for 1.5, then we can get you 75% of the 95%. This is why you need to write it down. So it might be about 1.4 million that we can get. The discount is almost seen as the deposit. So your cash down is actually, from a deposit point of view, is zero. From a deposit point of view, you've now not having to put any deposit in on a multi-million-pound portfolio acquisition. So long as you can get a 25% discount from the vendor, and the vendor says, I'm happy to leave 5% in there, but you're giving him or her 95% of his 1.5 million straight away. So hopefully he or she's happy. And he's got to keep that 5% for 5 years. After 5 years, you refinance, and you pay him or her that 5% out, and they go on their merry way, and you are now a 100% owner of a portfolio. Sounds a little too good to be true. Here's one caveat I think about it. If you're listening to this and go, wow, I've not even started my property journey, so I can get 20 properties on day one. No. No, the lender's going to say, oh, hold on a minute. We need to walk before we run. But if you're looking like you're going up the gears and you've already got some experience behind you, we've got one client at the moment who is doing exactly this and owns probably 10 properties, but he's buying 60. So that's going up the gears. He's going from 10 to he'll own 17 total. It's an £8 million valuation. He's getting it for 6. You don't believe me? You go out there and you look for these guys yourself. He's getting it for 6 million. So we've been able to get finance for about 5.8. And the other 200k is the other 5% that's staying in there. Is there other costs? Of course there is. It's a huge transaction. There are lots of other legal costs, solicitors costs, accountants costs that you've got to bear in mind. So you're not going in with no money in your pocket, but there's no deposit. So I'm not going to spend any more on this, but I'm telling you, this is going to be the biggest thing that's happened to landlords in 2026. If you can accelerate your property journey with no cash deposit. If you want to know more about that, then book a link in and just put in the notes, share purchase. I want to know a little bit more about it, and we'll be happy to expand on that